Watermelon Ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost Energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long.
White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mounties GG Gamer Subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way.
I actually don't know what Wawa is, but Sheets.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to grace our planet.
I'd have to go with Sheets.
Definitely rough.
Injustice, no J-Naps.
High ground, probably.
Probably T-Crow.
Either Skippy or T-Crow.
Croc.
Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkins. That was the first video game I've ever played. Webkins. Oh my god.
League of Legends. Sadly, that was the first game. That's one of the only games that I played. I just enjoy it so much.
Mario Kart 7 on the DS.
No bully.
Probably PGE.
Some of the top man.
Definitely PGE.
Angry Ginge or somebody in that realm, like Speed and stuff, they're pretty funny.
Probably my dorm.
Definitely Birchie.
I think the pond is one of the greatest schools you can buy.
The library, it just got renovated, much nicer, much quieter.
Definitely my room. Probably the IT area in the library.
Yes, I love snowboarding. I've been snowboarding my whole life.
Are you a snow person?
Not really, no. I don't really like the cold a whole lot.
I prefer summer.
Only for playing Snow Day in Rocket League.
No.
Yeah, I love snow.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm from upstate New York.
I love snow. I think it's so fun.
I think I would play, I don't even know. That's the only game that I play.
Probably competitive TF2.
Probably Rivals, you know.
I'd probably just play Trackmania.
I think the culture at Smash is insane. I would love to play Smash.
I'd probably play Madden.
Gotta be Mount Aloysius College. You can't beat them.
Mounties, obviously.
I'm Aloysius, of course.
Oh my gosh, this isn't the question. Mountie Esports.
I mean, gotta be the Mounties, right? The culture here is unmatched.
The Mount Aloysius esports program.
Obviously, Mount Aloysius.
You're looking at it.
Gotta be the Mounties Esports.
Cool.
You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At BreezeLine, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. With a team that goes above and beyond, fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig, and 99.9% reliability at any hour, in any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
We asked 10 Mountie Esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost Energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long.
White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mountie GG gamer subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way.
I actually don't know what Wawa is, but shit.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to grace our planet.
I'd have to go with Sheets.
Definitely rough.
Injustice, no J-Naps.
Hydron, probably.
Probably T-Corral.
Either Skippy or T-Corral.
Croc.
Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkins. That was the first video game I've ever played. Webkins. Oh my god.
League of Legends. Sadly, that was the first game. That's one of the only games that I played. I just enjoy it so much.
Mario Kart 7 on the DS.
No bully.
Probably PGE.
Some of the top man.
Definitely PGE.
Angry Ginge or somebody in that realm, like Speed and stuff, they're pretty funny.
Probably my dorm.
Definitely Birchie.
I think the pond is one of the greatest schools you can buy.
The library, it just got renovated, much nicer, much quieter.
Definitely my room. Probably the IT area in the library.
Yes, I love snowboarding. I've been snowboarding my whole life.
Are you a snow person?
Not really. No, I don't really like the cold a whole lot.
I prefer summer.
Only for playing Snow Day in Rocket League.
No.
Yeah, I love snow.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm from upstate New York.
I love snow. I think it's so fun.
I think I would play, I don't even know. That's the only game that I play.
Probably competitive TF2. Probably Rivals, you know.
I'd probably just play Trackmania.
I think the culture at Smash is insane. I would love to play Smash.
I'd probably play Madden.
Gotta be Mount Aloysius College. You can't beat them.
Mounties, obviously.
Mount Aloysius, of course.
Oh my gosh, this isn't the question. Mountie Esports.
I mean, gotta be the Mounties, right? The culture here is unmatched.
The Mount Aloysius esports program.
Obviously, Mount Aloysius.
You're looking at it.
Gotta be the Mountie Esports.
Cool.
You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At BreezeLine, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. with a team that goes above and beyond. Fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig. And 99.9% reliability at any hour, in any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
We asked 10 Mountie Esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost Energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long.
White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mountie GG Gamer Subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way.
I actually don't know what Wawa is, but Sheets.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to grace our planet.
I'd have to go with Sheets.
Definitely rough.
Injustice, no J-Naps.
Hydron, probably.
Probably T-Corral.
Either Skippy or T-Corral.
Croc. Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkins. That was the first video game I've ever played, Webkins. Oh my god.
League of Legends. Sadly, that was the first game. That's one of the only games that I play. I just enjoy it so much.
Mario Kart 7 on the DS.
No bully.
Probably PGE.
Some of the top matches.
Definitely PGE.
Angry Ginge or somebody in that realm, like Speed and stuff, they're pretty funny.
Probably my dorm.
Definitely Birchie.
I think the pond is one of the greatest schools you can get.
The library, it just got renovated and much nicer, much quieter.
Definitely my room.
Probably the IT area in the library.
Yes, I love snowboarding. I've been snowboarding my whole life.
Are you a snow person?
Not really, no. I don't really like the cold a whole lot.
I prefer summer.
Only for playing Snow Day in Rocket League.
No.
Yeah, I love snow.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm from upstate New York.
I love snow. I think it's so fun.
I think I would play, I don't even know. That's the only game that I play.
Probably competitive TF2.
Probably Rivals, you know.
I'd probably just play Trackmania.
I think the culture at Smash is insane. I would love to play Smash.
I'd probably play Madden.
Gotta be Mount Aloysius College, you can't beat them.
Mounties, obviously.
Mount Aloysius, of course.
Oh my gosh, this isn't the question. Mountie Esports.
I mean, gotta be the Mounties, right? The culture here is unmatched.
The Mount Aloysius esports program.
Obviously, Mount Aloysius.
You're looking at it.
Gotta be the Mounties Esports.
Cool.
You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At BreezeLine, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. With a team that goes above and beyond. Fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig. And 99.9% reliability at any hour. In any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mount Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mount Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different, makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
Going in. Hello, welcome in. We're going in straight to it. It's week number 1 as we're right in the middle of it. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for some Valorant. I'm Monkey Man in the booth alongside Ari as we are getting into some Division 2 and Division 1 play. Yesterday we got some Rocket League there, Ari, and it was all about Div 1. This time we'll be kicking off with Div 2, and actually 3 out of the 4 teams, I think, actually maybe all 4 teams that are here today were all Division 2 when it was in the spring, so a couple have leveled up.
Well, that's good to see. I mean, obviously, we want to see everybody making progress here as these maps go on, and as the years go on, really, we just want to see the players and the teams and the schools improve. But now, a whole different series to kind of work with, right? Again, we talked about it before, but it's setting the tone for the beginning of this year. Where are you going to stack up against everybody else in your division? Because as much as everybody's moving up, you're still now all playing against each other. So what do you have to bring to the table here? Well, first, it looks like it's going to be Ascent.
Remember, these regular season matches are all best of 1. You don't see best ofs to actually get to those best of 3s until we get to the playoffs. So Corrode, they decided didn't want to deal with that. Bind actually had become kind of a regular these days. But lo and behold, we go to Ascent. The one thing that we have to make true and clear is that even though the dude is here, he is not here for at least 2 weeks. Veto is vetoed out of competition for the time being. So let's go right over to Ascent, see if anyone tries anything squirrely.
I mean, it's the 3 things that are most common with Valorant: death, taxes, and Ascent. And we get all 3 here. I mean, the credits, they're going to be abundant. The deaths, I'm sure those will be as well. But Ascent is here to stay and play. So, you know, just going into these comps, it is going to be a bit different than something you would traditionally expect. I mean, Gecko is not something that's super frequent, but is something played by both teams here. Most likely going to be used as that kind of bum rush, 3-2-1, go sort of utility, and you're not going to see too much of that defaulting, very heavy, just hard rotates, commit to these fights, because at the end of the day, sometimes you just want to land the shot in their face instead.
Central York Panthers, they actually ended out there going against one of the teams that we'll be seeing in our next match of the Mohawk. They dropped out in the quarterfinals of the state championships here for PIEA. But it was Penn Trafford that saw themselves in a disappointing finish as they only finished in the round of 16. So they want to be able to find themselves in a much better starting position as the Warriors will be taking on our first of Warrior v Cat fight. This one in particular feels like Penn Trafford wants to go large and go big, but they're going to start on defense. And they've actually got 3 players that are hanging out all the way topside towards that heaven position. I don't know if they're ready to receive.
I mean, you have that Sage Slow. If they want to feel pressure, they can kind of just chuck that one forward. But again, I'm trying to look at the player Coconut. For some reason, I feel like I remember that name. And maybe that's because they were in the All-Star game last year. I'm not completely sure on that. But either way, if you're thinking about people to maybe keep an eye for, keep your eyes on Coconut, because they've done some crazy things in the past. That's for sure. Execute over towards A here. And looks like, yeah, just one player going to go completely down the wingman to secure the plant here. And already a bit of shenanigans going on, but it feels like Central York have at least successfully proved an attack over to the A side.
You definitely were remembering correctly. Representing, I believe it was the East lineup, was Coconut. This one will be a couple of quick ones as both Willie and Coconut do clear out the top boards, and they will take over A. So this plant eventually will be coming through. As actually, no, it's already down. So everything is good to go, full coverage, and at least Penn Trafford with all of a man with some fireballs and a dude with some Pokemon, but they may be actually taken out here very quickly. Just looking in the corner. All right, eventually. All right, flawless round to kick things off here for the York.
Yeah, unfortunate DC there, but the chance was technically given to them. So, hey, fair enough. You do what you got to do. And so now you go through, you say, hey, now we actually have a chance to kind of bring this one back, right? Obviously, we're down the pistol, we are down in credits, but now we take a fight on our own terms, one where we're using the whole team and our numbers to the most advantage we can get, and hopefully they can sneak away around, or at least a couple of kills to get some solid damage in.
And it looks like they're going to go and kind of bundle out towards mid. A typical response, especially when you've lost that previous pistol. Doesn't look like they actually bought too much into it. So this is just going to be extra creds to try and bring into what is going to be your typical buy round. But looking at our all-star, at least former from that spring semester, they are in separation from everyone else that's running to that catwalk. So there's going to be an immediate just cavalcade as Wug will take down Nightmare. Well, A is theirs again.
Yeah, absolutely. And just expanding off of this space, I mean, it's given to them, so they're going to take it. And especially when you're against a sort of eco buy, you can kind of just go for these risks as long as you have a teammate with you making up for maybe an accidental bullet that catches you in the face. And now Zuzi, well, best of luck here. But I have a feeling the Dink is not going to take down all 5. Instead, just a bit of HP on Coconut. That not enough. And Central York up to 2.
Central York, whenever they went through their playoff, it was a couple of that were immediately swung in their face against the Mohawk, who ended up going as a second place team against Bayard Ruston, who kind of took Division 2 by storm. So it's neat to see how both these teams kind of pounce into this season. Obviously, you get the staying power that is Coconut, and with this really resilient bonus round going to round number 3, Nightmare got to buy, right? Yeah, they buy. Okay. But, you know, going for the risky plays, no shields.
Oh, very aggressive here. They're going in there like swimwear and going to be taken on down. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. Yeah, got to look at all the players, and very aggressive dash by Willie. Almost got punished for it. Taking a chip of damage for HP, gone bye-bye. And it looks like they're still going to commit to this B site. They want to kind of just have a bit of fun, and with Wug getting that pick towards mid, there's now an option to maybe get out of dodge. Rocco going to make them pay for sticking around too long.
Yeah, Rocco has actually found a triplicate of players to put on the floor. Central York, the Panthers, are just down to a couple of kitty cats on the prowl. With all of a ghost, this situation a little bit rough as Killer D does eventually drop out. So this does go into a 2-2 where they aim to rotate mid. Rocco will be using this as some extra information, maybe a way to engage. They will put down that dark cover, so they're going to aim to still rotate mid.
And absolutely may as well. When you saw that smoke has dropped over towards the B site, you know the Brimstone is at least in range enough of an idea to at least fake the rotate to A, which they're going to commit to this bottom mid smoke. Out of all the plays, this is certainly one solid one to good for, and it does work out in their favor. Now just one player left, and they were making a whole ton of noise. Those footsteps surely have to be heard, and yes, the players are going to run away after using that paranoia. They do not want any of the smoke. And ironic how Zuzi on that controller roll, but it will fall anyway, and a bonus conversion now for Central York.
We'll also be fixing it up. I believe that Coconut is on the attacking team right now, but it is actually Penn Trafford that is on the attack. So I think Central York is on defense. Penn Trafford's on attack, and so we'll be flipping those around here just in a moment. So good general cleanup, and this is going to be a really fat buy right now from out of Penn Trafford as they go into this next. They have full weapons. You did have a couple of players that were on Central York that weren't exactly at their strongest. It felt like, you know, they were kind of walking around with a ghost, a couple of shields that weren't bought. So continue to not have the shields. That's one of the things. Obviously, you go into high school scholastic esports, making sure that you just have all your wits about you as well as your buys.
I mean, hey, comfortability, we could talk about being very, very nice in terms of the agents, but yeah, holding that angle, punished off of it, allowing for Coconut to take all of this site space is going to be not quite ideal, right? As all of this will just be speaking right into heaven, keeping on going. Origin Vandal singing away, and it'll be Arctic Willie as well to keep on taking down this defensive side. Look at this, Penn Trafford now just one to beat, and one will fall to a classic right click, but that'll be all for them. So 4 rounds now in a row for Penn Trafford.
Dominant show of force as they just go straight up into heaven, and honestly, that's where they're going to make their opponents stay for the most part. Not really being that super aggressive kind of setup. You're not putting down the wall. You're not really kind of forcing them to have to delegate a lot of that time, especially upon entry. And that's something that definitely that you and I have already talked about is probably going to change whenever Veto comes onto the map. But right now, it feels like something that needs to also kind of be shifted and lifted for both of these squads. Penn Trafford looking really good. to kick things off, Coconut so far has been a good kickoff for them as the Empress will get popped. Now they got even more lethality.
Yeah, they're just going to keep on accelerating towards this A side, realizing the Thrash most likely an information tool towards mid or towards B, and a 1-for-1 trade will be a decent result for that defensive side. The only problem is they'll have to make up for it as well with that plant going down, so not ideal to kind of have to deal with the situation of a 4 versus 3 killer. Will not quite land the shots. Now the Thrash attain at least to grab that trade right on back, but that's the final sort of usage for that ability. Now, you really have to make this one good, and Coconut's waiting for you in the smoke. Aware, though, and stunned on through. A nice little play by Rocco, but now 2 more to beats, and lands the shot onto the first. Almost does it all, but instead, Wug will take you on down. No blemishes on the record just quite yet for Penn Trafford.
Wugs slamming them under the rug, but we cannot take away what was the heat check right there out of Rocco. Rocco, great use of utility. It's going to stay in your pocket until you use it, and you better be dang well using it, and they do so. Getting that just a moment's notice of information off of their wingman, getting the clap and knowing that someone was nearby, took out Coconut. That was so timely. If they did not get a short round of applause from their little assistant, they would have been dead on arrival.
I'm just thinking about, how do you play this as a defensive side, right? Rocco doing pretty dang well right now, but the rest of the team may be a bit slow to get started. Do you have them group up and try to play their strength in numbers? Because right now we're seeing the same thing happen over towards this A side. Jason's been pinned, has been good for a 1-for-1 trade every now and again, but 5 players, you're not expecting to get more than 1. In fact, they get 0, and Mr. French Toast will clean up the site very nicely with 2 quick kills.
One of the defensive things that I would change up is use your wall. I have not seen a wall at any of these rounds. Sage is pretty much wall and slow. Try to mitigate the push, and the speed at which it's happening is very quick. That's going to be a use of their Thrash from the side of Penn Trafford. He is basically using it from main and not going to find any targets as they will swing up top mid. Coconut will be lit up from their left half, but Killer D, they are not going to take advantage of all the extra audible information that's coming from Windows. So Arctic Willie will clear this one through the first 6. Penn Trafford's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it looks so dang well. I mean, you can see even just those little things, right? The fundamentals of the game with just general crosshair placement. You could see it was enough to grab onto maybe a few shots on Coconut, but not ready for that second one, just not quite clearing their corner, so to speak. And, when I'm coaching some of my friends who are maybe a bit lower ranked than me, I'll say, hey, make sure you clear angles properly. Right? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot. Sometimes you can do that silent step to peek around the corner, have full accuracy, and still be good without giving them a big sign that, hey, you need to go on site. But look, a wall, you ask and you shall receive.
I'm just so happy I see a wall. There's also a revive available, but they don't really have anyone to kind of angle off of. The running back, oh, a little peek. Spectre treats me much the same, so don't feel too bad, Jason. Zuzi and Jason Long both go down at the hands of French Toast. Wingman's going to be carrying themselves a gift. Another plant here on A.
Yeah, I mean, this is starting to look kind of repetitive, something that we've seen before, and I believe it was the Monday stream for myself. We saw them kind of running the same option in the Overwatch games, and now we're starting to see a very similar thing with these Valorant ones, where, again, you run into the same brick wall over and over, you're going to get punished for it. The defense or the attack, whichever side it is not going to have to change up their ideals. And so now they can just keep on swinging you. Now, of course, the fight in mid, but French Toast will take you on down there. No real risks, so no need to worry, but still flawless. Penn Trafford through 7.
If it is not Baroque, don't worry about fixing the notes as we get Penn Trafford and the Warriors. This could be a double Dutch W here for Warriors, depending on how both this squad as well as the Mohawk following up after this one does. But for the time being, they do in fact move forward. So as this continues on, feels like Penn Trafford is just in a place of just prominence. They don't have to do anything different. I mean, they're doing A until it breaks. B is all of an afterthought.
I mean, a site swap here in terms of the defenses here. Rocco wants to take matters into their own hands. They're going to be peeking aggro here, and oh boy, Size Nightmare indeed will fall down to the site of a few more bullets than they expected. Rocco off angle is being held, is being aware, but the crosshair placement good for 1, maybe 2. Nice. Yes, indeed, the ADS against the wingman now, but now just Rocco, they're stunned up, and now they've got to deal with every single player remaining. That Dizzy gonna be enough to maybe blind you up, but still just enough damage done. Not exactly the round secured, as 2 more players are still left to deal with, and that Spike's heading over to B site.
Yep, they finally used the From the Shadows as well. Wug knowing that they have that as a back pocket option and answer, so they don't have to go fight Rocco, who is definitely on a heater yet again. Been good for 2 and 3, several rounds in a row. Definitely kind of the main point of success that we're getting out of the Panthers, but Central York needs Rocco to come even more alive. 32 HP is going to be difficult to do, especially if you have this cross setup from Market over towards this near side of Main. They've got knives out. Rocco's got to find him first, but Wug will get him almost immediately.
Yeah, it's tough to just try swing out of that smoke there. I mean, not much they can really do. The Dizzy was kind of expended towards the A site, and of course, you don't want to give up your position before getting the one, because now, then it becomes, okay, now I'm peeking into a crossfire if somebody isn't in one of those first corners that I clear. So Penn Trafford, very nicely done. Again, being diligent with how they kind of set things up for success. But against Central York, we just want to see them start with small steps, aka let's get one on the board first, then we'll worry about maybe 13 later down the line.
All of one. The good news is that they will go through 12 into this first half, and the next half might be unforgiving. I don't know. I saw NRG throw an 11-1 half. We'll see how this one eventually goes. Trying to be able to distract him. Rocco gets traded. Wug will find 3. A wallbang headshot into Killer D. What was 1 turns into a triple straight off the rip.
I mean, absolutely absurd. The fact that you get 3 there, I mean, I guess against an eco, sure, but now you put your team in a situation to really just make things work perfectly for you. And Johnny, although the shots are a bit whiffy and iffy, it's still in a smoke, so we'll give you that extra leanability, if you word. That's definitely not the word I'm looking for, but I'm gonna call it that for now.
Leanability. It's the leniency.
Leniency. There we go.
Yeah. I was actually searching for that. I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
I'm like, what is the word?
It's just like your Wordle. I was like, all right, I can get this in 1 instead of 2.
I got it in 2. I got it in 2 today. So
that's good.
Good in words at some things, not so much in the others, apparently.
What's your starting word? What is always your main starting word?
I go for arson.
Ooh, that's a good starting word. Uh-oh, what? Hold on.
Fire from the skies here. Arson indeed.
This is actually one of those abilities that good old Vito can stop. They're gonna res him straight into death. Using that hot hands, trying to be able to land some shots. They will get some extra healing to try to regen straight into the firefight. And Jason will cut them off, but not before being attacked from behind. They do take out Arctic. It becomes a 1v1.
That's From the Shadows again. Yep. Bye-bye. Wait, not even going to the B site.
Trick.
Wait, this is really weird, though, because they're still walled off. That wall is not broken indeed, and Jason's not biting. This is mind games upon mind games, and oh no. The TP heard, but the positioning spotted. Now somebody's going to land the shots. The shoulder leads to the head. It's all connected, and Wug will keep their clean streak for Penn Trafford alive.
Separating the skull from the rest of the body. Full Christopher Reeves. No neurons left to divide them. So Penn Trafford 10 up now here on Central York. 14-6 is Arctic Willie. And honestly, we started with the star of the show with Coconut, but everyone else has definitely found themselves in kind of much better kits. Rocco 14-11. Definitely, if you are the Panthers, you're like building off of all of the capability and experience that Rocco has. Kind of trying to talk about it. They are 5-stacking A. They send out the Thrash. They know no one's there. They've got to flip this entire map.
The problem is, though, they 5-stacked a site where they already had the win condition. AKA, you probably could have captured somebody if there was only 1, maybe 2 there. But in fact, that there's all 5 now means that you've emptied the entire B site up. Now you have to go for some miraculous stuff. And, well, Psy Nightmare has at least grabbed the first pick for themselves. Very nicely done there. But it's a whole different scenario now as that spike being planted. Coconut literally in the spawn of the defenders. And, oh boy, there's only so much they can do in so many ways they can expect this, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to expect that counter position. They should be able to clear them out, and Coconut does get rid of Killer D, so they're going to retreat on back off the dismiss. That Dizzy's going to tattletale on them. They have the ability to flood into this site. I believe that they have at least a couple that are standing directly into main. You've got Coconut clearing out Nightmare. It becomes a 2 versus 4, so you're actually seeing Central York, one Panther after another, slowly dropping down.
Yeah, the paranoia as well, just pinning Rocco into this close angle. Even if they do manage to win out this fight, which they do, they have 2 players to get through, and the time just not even there for them. So saving the rifle, running back away with just 1 chance to grab a round on this defensive side for themselves is Central York. 1 more effort to make sure that Penn Trafford cannot secure a flawless half.
Last round in the half.
Whenever it comes down to watching Scholastic Esports and watching high school, I always kind of wonder, all right, where's going to be our main players that definitely kind of grind this game? Who's taking the extra steps? Who's really kind of leading that charge? For side of Central York, you've got Rocco. I feel like in terms of IGLing, that would be a great player to kind of work off some leadership. See if maybe they can start directing a few people where they want them to go, what they want them to do. Penn Trafford, you got the smorgasbord over here, and it's interesting to see how they came up short in that first round than it was to the eventual winners. So, see if anything kind of changes here. Mr. French Toast, though, lays a glaze out on him. Sweet treat for that double.
And make it 3 as well. The third one over towards Market. Coconut was going for the lurk just to secure it, but it doesn't even matter. Jason, that Spectre finally paying off, but now you got to get the other 4. As much as we want to say congrats on the first one, there's Coconut behind you. And, well, that somehow worked. Did Coconut go for the knife? Was Coconut trying to get silly there?
Well, they got 3 HP.
3 HP, so maybe not. Res available. So if you can find a body right behind you, you should be able to res here.
Do you see where that is? Look at that ult. That is...
What the? Wait.
Yeah, it's here. Oh, they're going for knives. Yeah, knives are out. Oh!
So was a paranoia, apparently.
Get an ace, but no defuse.
No charges left.
Feel like I've seen this one before. I've played these games before, in fact.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. They want it 4. Come on, Jason. Go get your 5th. They're threatening him with a... Oh, my goodness. What a bait. Oh, not the right click. Johnny gets 2. And that'll be 12 for the Warriors.
Oh, man. 1 more to go before it's doom and gloom. And you could see, yeah, everybody kind of talking about maybe there's a knife kill in there, but no, instead, it might just be a bit of fun to have through, because again, we've talked about it before. Even if you do go down, you have to learn from these scenarios. If you chalk this one up as a loss and leave it at that, it's not going to go super well for you. You're not going to take this information and run with it anywhere. So it looks like we're going to have almost everybody towards A, and the question is, will they honor it? I know Zuzi's got that donut on the board now, so it would be nice to see them grab at least 1 here.
Getting there. All right. Who's the better meleeer here in Valorant? Melee is a little weird because you literally have to be just up on someone. There's not a lot of... There's no magnetism like Halo. You have to be able to tap them with your knife. Oh, there's no thieves here. All right. So the defense on Penn Trafford on B is being ultra sweats.
Yeah, Mardik Willie at least spotted in that first kind of few seconds, but now this becomes a whole different level. Coconut, though, in a great spot to actually make things do here. Right clicks, left clicks, anything you want. It can go your way if someone just walks through that smoke. You're telling them, go for it. Nothing's going to hurt you on the other side. Plot twist, it's me. I will hurt you on the other side. And it looks like the full rotates have been over towards A. A timing gonna be taken now. Crazy timing's taken. The Dizzy out somehow got into Wind without even finding one. And there goes Coconut. There goes the entire Central York team. 13-0, make it flawless all map for Penn Trafford.
Panthers gonna have to go back to the jungle and see what else they can find beyond the leaves, but it's gonna be Penn Trafford that goes 13-0 here for our first week of play, for the first map of play. Might as well felt like a sprint for them, but this is definitely a team that has something to prove. You got unfinished business from a team that definitely came up short against the eventual winners of Division 2 last season. They've got to feel like, you know what, that's a crazy first round that we had to have in the spring. This time around, they take what was kind of left of Central York, who had made it to the quarterfinals, and just whisked them away off Ascent.
I mean, hey, if there is one way to say you guys made a mistake, we should have been in Division 1, that's a pretty good statement to make right there. I mean, they truly had the results. Everything they could have put together, they did. And even the mistakes they were making, I mean, sometimes it was even just overconfidence because they knew they had so many protocols in place for if things did come to a closer kind of standpoint. Even in that 1v2 scenario with just a classic, some players like Johnny were able to pull that off and make sure that that flawless streak was kept alive. So honestly, you just have to give props where they're due and say congrats to a team that has used that anger from before and fueled their run this season, hopefully to get them back to where they were before and then some.
Very much so. I mean, Rocco did end up coming out at the top of the stack at a 399 ACS. Not a bad job considering you're basically sitting into a 1 versus very, very mini. And the rest of your team still in kind of that learning process, seeing what they can do from their program's perspective. But this is week 1. This is the first match of mini. You have a fall, you have a spring, and you have a state championship and all that still has to happen. And they have conference finals that I believe are at the other end of this road. So we're going to see how all that ends up happening. So I believe that we're going to be going over to a break. Div 2 out of the way here, Ari. Div 1 will be right around the corner. That's going to be Homer Center High as the Wildcats will be going against the Mohawk Warriors. You don't want to miss it. Division 1 Valorant and more PIA right after the short break.
chances till we bleed. And when Everything around me is starting to turn black. Don't tell me you're hurt again. Tell me how wrong I am. Tell me how it's all my fault. Yeah, I've met my match again. Starting from scratch again. Where is the pleasure in all this pain? Don't you lie to me. Say it's all okay. When it feels like I'm
Welcome back now, y'all. 2 hops this time. It's Division 1 as we get into it. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside Ari as we get even more Valorant here in this wonderful Wednesday. PIA is kicking out very well for some. For others, they're trying to find a foothold. We're going to go over to it, not to Ascent. There definitely are teams that just literally don't want to go to Corrode, apparently, as their first. So we have Bind right up in our windshield. Ari, tell me all about Bind and these 2 teams.
I'd rather play Ascent, honestly. I'm not
Really?
gonna lie. Yeah, because here's the thing. I love Bind, I love watching Bind, but playing Bind, it is a nightmare. You're telling me you can get any sort of map control. Oh, we have a short. Oh, we have a showers. And then they TP and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, thanks a lot. So yeah, I mean, it is very tough to kind of have to deal with the space that you actually take and then harness that information and kind of turn that into some sort of advantage. That's a lot tougher on Bind than some other maps, but it also gives us maybe a chance to sneak away a round or two if it was maybe a matchup, say, to the previous one. You might have seen more rounds go a bit closer than they did, but Homer Center Mohawk, speaking of close games, this one went the distance last time they met in a best of 3, went all 3 maps.
And that was a semifinal in the state championship that ultimately punched the ticket for the Mohawk to go into states against Bayard Rustin. They came a little bit short there, went 13-6, 13-1 for Mohawk. So obviously the Warriors feel like they have unfinished business, but they've gone from Division 2 into Division 1 alongside Homer Center. So both these teams with the success of making that top 4 in Div 2, now making their way up into the big leagues. And we remember some of those big league teams that also were able to get there, because when it came through, it was all the way with Lower Moreland that was looking fantastic, along with Garnet Valley and CB South. So they've really joined the elites, and I gotta wonder if there's gonna be maybe some growing pains. But for the time being, they get to fight against a familiar foe, and that means that this one's just gonna be a banger. I honestly think that this could be a kind of a wild and wacky match for week number 1.
My only worry, I mean, you obviously talked about the growing pains, but I have to wonder, did those rosters shift around? Because most likely one of those players was a senior or something of that sort. Is there a new face that we need to watch out for? Of course, I'm not super familiar with all 5 players that were on the roster last year, so I can't tell you maybe which ones would have swapped out, but keep your eyes peeled. If somebody whose name you haven't heard before starts to make a name for themselves here and today, we might have an idea of who our new additions are. Maybe a new freshman that's just out of the woodworks, out of Radiant, and in here today to dominate. We'll have to see as the players show up into the lobby.
Yeah, 8 short weeks from now, we'll be seeing the fall conference championships, or at least their division championships. So we'll get to see how all that kind of goes together, because that will also give us our good looks going into the spring, which has honestly been a really good format for a PIA to follow, seeing how much of that gets rewarded. They re-rack and stack the divisions, and then all of that just kind of gives us some of the best gameplay across all these titles that we've seen in many seasons, including tomorrow, because Marvel Rivals has now joined the pack. So if you want to see a lot of esports, especially in the Scholastic Sphere, you can just join PIAA. Literally Monday through Thursday, everything is here all the time, and especially into the evenings as they do a bit of the collegiate side as well. But for this one, feels like if you're going to be favoring it over towards the team, I liked starting on defense with this one. I don't know what it is. Something feels secure, and maybe I'll feel even more secure whenever Veto comes around, because I don't get just blasted out from U-Hauls with an orbital strike. I don't get taken out if I'm, this is only for Veto, one of the 9 players out there. But same thing with, the typical Raze pick onto this map. What do you see as maybe something that teams maybe shift away from if and when Veto becomes more of a regular? Do you still stick with what you know, or do you try to breed something different?
I mean, we were talking about it off stream about, the ability to kind of just hang around, stick the defuse while that orbital strike's coming on down, things like that. But I'm thinking about maybe a little bit of a higher kind of level of play where they used to run that double controller, right? That Brimstone, the Viper. And while it is very good as the attacking lurk ball, that defensive kind of capability, that decay may not be affected by a certain ultimate. Yes, the smoke is still technically there, but again, we talk about that post plant, the duality of that. Would you rather have a Veto instead? So again, trade-offs here or there on what these teams want to kind of use and utilize. And I think that maybe we'll get a kind of preview of what these teams would like to run. Obviously, Veto not in the mix right now, but we kind of can get a sense of what they plan to do in the future based off of their play styles today. You can kind of consider Veto a bit like a chamber ISO kind of pseudo clash together, which is crazy to say considering, again, it's a Sentinel.
Yeah, very true. And I feel like there's also going to be a focus, like you mentioned, more smokes, take away sight lines, and getting extra information. A lot of there was a lovely graph that actually Ari was able to share while we were in the green room before this about what is basically affected, and it's to take away some of the power creep that was kind of mentioned from out of Riot. They don't want a reliance upon ultimate and ability damage all the time. It's nice to kind of, you know, reposition and force off position when it's anyone that's like a sniper or otherwise. But then when you just are like, all right, cool, let's go straight for the ultimate and let's just, you know, rain down hellfire. Now that's not in the game, at least as a permanent thing. So maybe focusing kind of a shift of the entire paradigm towards a lot more information and taking away all that. So it does look like that we are going to be taking our time to get another player for just another moment. So we'll see if they're going to be going through. And of course, this is going to be week to week. I think we got at least 7 more weeks of a regular season play. So we're going to go to a short break and we'll get that lobby prepped. Never mind. I was told by the producer in the sky just as I was thinking about it that we'll be sticking with it. Oh, I know. They're up there. All right. So momentarily, we go to bind. We'll be seeing how that goes right now. But pre-veto, who do you want to see? What agents should we be seeing in the 2 weeks prior to them showing up?
Who do I think we're going to see? Gecko. I'm going to call it before it comes up on the screen. There.
Oh.
First lock.
There you go.
Does it mean I'm 2 for 2 on the predictions? I said before that I'd be doing an official prediction list. I think that's constituting a 2-2 record officially now, so I'll take that and I can run with it.
Okay. Well, also I believe that this one might be, yes, we are on backward sides, I believe, because I remember Ghost on Mohawk last time around. They are currently on your defending side, so we'll get to see how all of that goes eventually. But Ghost was a menace, especially into the for the west side lineup of the Division 2 All-Star game. So we'll find out all that and more. Daddy Sharky and company, I remember them. There's a lot of these players' names that are starting to become very familiar, especially Zfar. But with a Phoenix on either side, you've also got your Clove. This is kind of a mishmash, and you've got the one Gecko. We'll give you credit for that.
I mean, again, in these kind of, let's say, lower tier games, right? They're not pros. You see Gecko be a very frequent kind of initiator because it provides that, you know, flash capability to initiate into fights early, but then also as well, you have that information gathering to just kind of say, hey guys, this is where they're going on a defensive side, and they can make things work by kind of piecing together bits and around. And you see as well, Sova and Breach, while, you know, maybe a similarly frequent combo, not something we typically see in the elo and caliber of the lobby we're seeing right now. So I'm curious to see how they manage to play this through.
They're going to try and just go full short here for A. So as they've done so, look at this ultra creep up. You actually have them all the way from hookah. Guilty Cross was able to just find their teammate in Game Master, and they saw no one. So everyone's still looking for at least a point to pivot on. Ghost is holding showers purely, and as soon as I hear some extra utility drop, Sneaky Squid is going to be getting a plant off truck, and, well, there's been no contact. It's going to be a 5v5 retake.
No contact, no util even expended, but Ghost still picks up the first, make that the, you know, fault line through, and there we talked about the utility, not relying on damage. Well, it doesn't matter for Ghost. They'll have to wait until the next meta. The Game Master as well falling short here. That damaging utility once again from Phoenix being a nice little piece to this puzzle, but Homer Center now, they're gonna keep on holding. Now 2 players remaining, and again, maybe a bit of too much time burned off the clock in those first few seconds. Now you just have to hope to do this damage because the secure of the defuse is just not feasible. Phobia to get the final one to secure this first one up.
Sneaky Squid got the plant, they got 2 kills, and they had a great combination of using their fault line and an aftershock immediately. The extended distance on that aftershock still confounds me. You walk, you run away from it, however quickly that you can, and it feels like it has such a reach to the damage, which it kind of needs considering it's basically an exploding drill spike. So good looks out of Homer Center as they don't get seen early on. It was kind of a weird split from out of the Warriors from the Mohawk. They're going to pick up their bomb, and they're going to lean back into A.
Yeah, very heavy towards A this time. And again, you have that Sentinel, but it's only the Chamber. And even then, they even take a nice little chunk of damage off the rip. Both players, actually. Maybe headshots exchanged through the wall, something of that sort. But again, that push-up we saw towards B not happening this time and could be the valuable info that they need to kind of secure this one. That's a Spectre forced up on defense, by the way, and Sneaky Squid punishes that one fully. Those two players going down in short and the site not being completely entered at, because if there was two, there's probably more around. But now that timer starts to tick because there's one player creeping up from behind.
They're gonna be able to take that weapon for free as well. Homer Center has got themselves a gift. Zafar is gonna try and do this much the same. This was also another buy up as the Spectre was in the hands of yet another defender from out of Mohawk. They're gonna find two, so this one finds a lot of value. 3 go down, becomes a 3 versus 2 to try and be able to get rid of this as they go for the defuse. It's gonna be a 2v2 late term. That's gonna be Sneaky Squid off the reload. Zafar will find 4. Hey, looks like the buy paid off.
You know, I'm not going to question it. If it works, it works. And Mohawk, they had a plan. They went in, they committed to it, and it works out in their favor. Now I'm just scanning for some extra weaponry on the way out. Immortal Buddy, by the way. Hello?
Wait, hold on.
Who in here is the Immortal? Or at least was at one point Immortal? I would like to know that information because...
Sneaky Squid?
It's somebody sneaky in here for sure.
wait. What was it on the Sheriff, I think?
It was on the Sheriff, yes.
So then there was Sneaky Squid, and I think it was,
yeah.
I think it was Hydro. Well, yeah. So I think it's Sneaky Squid. It's gotta be, right?
Sure.
Now we have to play Who's the Immortal. Out of 10 people, you have to identify who's the Immortal straight up.
It's a fun little game to play. I remember those YouTube videos coming out. Guess who the imposter is, right?
Like, oh, they are pewter rank. Like, oh.
It's the crazy kind of peak, by the way. Just walking up short ADS with a Spectre. I mean, this one works for Zafar. Just the Spectre paying off in these medium close range scenarios, but faking the runaway doesn't matter. Gets punished in the back, runs out of bullets, has to pick up the Vandal. Oh, look, bigger gun. I'm gonna shoot you in the face now. Never mind, I'm blinded. I shoot you in the toes once and I go down to that. But now 2 versus 2, and the Rolling Thunder gonna be invested here. They want to go in, and now they catch on to 1, but that head's gonna be peeking out. They did spot it though, and so the cancel will be called, saying, hey, that's both players here. I don't want any of that smoke.
They end up using that ultimate and everything with it, and now they're going to move over towards A. It was such a wholesale commit that Ghost off of the swing is going to expect them to be pretty much right here. Radiant Buddy, by the way. So definitely two.
But yep.
Yeah, I mean, either way, like just looking fantastic. Looking fantastic that these guys are just, all right, we're going to lead these squads. They definitely were into that all-star game last time around. Not the experience will show on these teams, and so far Ghosts, I think they're in kind of a 1v1 duel to try and take out Sneaky Squid.
It may very well be the raid boss versus raid boss we kind of expect to see normally, but Ghost takes down Sneaky Squid and now has to deal with just one more. And Tater, though, great positioning here to make sure that this diffuse does not come on through quickly. Spots out the first, but you can play the time game. Omen will meet a shot to their bullet, though. And, well, the head falls right on, clean off. Ghost with the defuse here, and that force up once again from that second round, now making this a trajectory upwards for them to even take the lead.
This is going to be a weird economy because you had the buy up from Homer Center off of their initial attack, and then the force from Mohawk. I thought after kind of going only down to 1 Spectre that they might be in a kind of a worse for wear state. They still were able to buy, and then they cleared the board of Homer Center. Neither team really balking at what they end up putting kind of in their hands, but it's still a little bit strange. So Sneaky Squid and company will have some Spectres. They're going to do this basically at half mass, half strength. They haven't really tried B as well. I say that. They did that previous round. But Ghost, hide your kids. Hide Ghosts. They're smoking them.
Yeah. I mean, creating a few more Ghosts with that Vandal. That's for sure. Just deciding, hey, you know what? I'm going to keep holding on to this angle. Eventually, you know, that smoke comes in, maybe you go for timing peek. Nope, just kind of holding it down, giving enough time for Guilty Cross to cross on through and then dip on out. Does not want to go down without a trade in sight. And Tater, though, punishing up on a Ghost, but now claiming back one more. Ooh, a little bit aggro on the angle, but there's that B extension. Zafar changes from the Spectre to the Ares, but it has the same result nonetheless.
Zafar is just ruthless and fearless. Off of that nice long and deep swing, I think they came out outside of that marketplace to kind of go and find Homer Center as everyone was pushed back from beyond that Showers position. That Cypher is just finding so much value because everyone gets solely focused on what's coming in from both of those funnel lanes. So Mohawk, they found 3 in a row right now. This is a team that came up second place, came up short against Bayard Ruston into Division 2 in the state championships. And they so far have really kind of stood against the test of time with Homer Center.
5 up towards B long, making a lot of noise. So this is going to be heard, but it will not matter for Daddy Sharky as they fall to the ground anyway. Even expecting them, they just cannot manage to handle all of the bullets in their way, especially a big old operator bullet. Oh boy, Zafar though going to be dropping those bullets a bit to the wayside, painting a nice picture around them, but Ghost will make up for it as they complete it on through. Everybody TPing to A, and we'll have a bit of a 4v3 here as the spike gets planted.
Well, they have all the info they need that everyone went that direction off of the one pop that they got. Intater can't quite reposition. They do have their TP set up just nearby off of that rendezvous to, I think, go all the way back over towards Showers. So they're good to go. Ghost is going to try and hit this one from up top. They see the top of Clove. See if they can do that again. Dodging past the Rainbow Ray. They at least use those paint shells, but Sneaky Squid grabs another with Game Master going down. It's down just into a 2v2. They get him with a flash. Can they do another one? Cross point, left, right here as it becomes a 1 versus 1, but you've got an operator and you got a curveball. That's going to raw dog this, try to walk it on up, and they flash themselves.
Get too far away there. I mean, you could go for the wall, but just doesn't know the defuse bind. Maybe it took them a second, but they'll get punished for it regardless. And Tater, 3 kills on the round with that big old operator, and Mohawk, well, their trend of 3 will be quickly cut short to just 1 round separating these 2 teams.
Let's check out who's hitting it right now. Intater will have a proper operator now after having their tour de force and that kind of save system that you get from Chambers' kit. So 8-3 out of Zafar and 7-4 with Ghost. Feels like that's kind of cleanup duty as Guilty Cross really is just fearlessly going into anyone. Intater and Sneaky Squid, who has been kind of the consistency from out of this attack from the from the Wildcats of Homer Center. And they get rid of Guilty Cross straight up. You have several ultimates that are also online. One of them is gone, actually, as you have at least one onto your Sova, but Game Master is just caught a little bit too far extended.
Zafar, though, you know they want to take this timing, swing onto the Sorb. And there is no way they expect an operator on the other side of this, because why would you peek this angle? Oh boy, the stun comes through. Yeah, you can't exactly trip that. That's not a Vice Wall. And so, yeah, they're going to get punished for it. Game knowledge goes the way of Mohawk this time. Ghost with 3, Zafar with 2, and it's called our ace, if you will. Little buddy friendship ace.
Bugs Bunny JPEG intensifies, and they're going to give that one over to Ghost. So just one off of having a showstopper. Then you got the boomstick in the hands of one of your fastest duelists between the 2 of them. So with the run it back and some extra information from the neural theft available for Zafar, Mohawk can continue to kind of build up from here. You've got a couple of Spectres. You could lead yourself forward with Hide Your Kids if you really wanted to. Homer Center still can actuate from off of a Hunter's Fury if they so want to, but Game Master just gives themselves up.
Yeah, peeking an angle that was a little bit too far over toward the right. Daddy Sharky goes in for the trade, picks up Hide Your Kids, but Tater feels like a raid boss in their own right. Headshot with the operator, very nicely done. And now deciding not to use that big old showstopper because the players can just run on away, though. Notice potentially being made by Zafar here on the flank. Getting scanned, though, should give Zafar away on through, but now a 1 versus 2 going to be the way for you. Just need to get a few more shots on through, and that spike, Guys, we need to pick up the spike. Okay, there we go. We're on our way back. Yep, But Ghost is going to hear all of this and might actually hear the rotates over towards the B site. Might actually jump through the TP with a showstopper, if I had to guess.
Yeah, if they were either to do that or if their teammates are communicating, exactly this. They are very hurt. There's no reason to keep all that extra weaponry, and so Ghost will clean them up and get 3. It took them forever to make that rotation. They were able to clutch this one, but definitely as long as they were given all the information about the amount of damage both of those players had taken, get rid of that operator. A one-shot stop is not what you need. Get the Phantom, spray away.
I'm just worried about the fact that you hear that TP noise, and then both of those players who are in that Sands area not looking at the TP, right? You saw one kind of looking a little bit farther away. I mean, it's not a Yoru clone. There's nothing that's going to, scare you away. It's literally only that one player remaining, and they land one more bullet, and that round goes their way. Unfortunately, not those Zafar. We'll be happy with this, and oh boy, aggressive peek will be punished here as the first weapon of the round will fall.
Oh, Zafar is already pressed up from Puka. They're going to try and swing this a lot faster. They hear one TP already happen, and maybe they thought they had TP'd from the other corner. This is going to be a fall line use. Aftershock to follow to clear out the entirety of that hookah position. Zafar is left with open targets. They have another man. One off the swing. Should be able to get 3. Zafar. Oh, and the Ghost grabs a dub, and so do Mohawk as the Warriors find it on a flawless.
We'll take our ace number 2, Ghost and Zafar, making it not back-to-back, but pretty dang close to it. 3 for Zafar, this time 2 for Ghost, and 6 rounds now total for Mohawk. 5 ults on the other side for Homer Center, but again, we've seen that really the only thing to push them over the line has been Entator, ground up a few with that Tour de Force, or using pretty much everything else as a collective whole. When they get that first pick, it's nice, but we want to see them actually convert that into an advantage, which we haven't quite seen as much.
Ghost is going to have immediate knowledge of the run it back, and Entator is going to let them know that they were looking for them in showers. That is 2 quick kills from out of Entator's Tour de Force. Trying to creep their way up. Bit of wallbang damage onto Ghost, so they're going to lack a shield, but they got 70 HP. And with that, at least extinguish here in mid. Neural Theft to try and find the rest. And Zafar is always looking for this flank, but they're going to get caught this time as Entator will slam them down.
Yeah, you put up a big beacon that says, hey, by the way, I'm on the body that we just took down. Surely I'm not going to peek, right? And then you peeked. And that's what happens. So, Entator, completely aware of the scenario at hand. And that's why we're seeing kind of in this game is that game sense differential maybe being certainly key. And Entator now with 4, 1 more to go, potentially the ace online. And you say, well, if you need a way to bounce back in this game with just maybe 1 or 2 of those ultimates, this is certainly the way to go.
1 golden bullet left here for Entator. Gotta land this if they intend to get this ace off of at least this gun. Daddy Sharky, seen them in several different esports before, but this one will be 4 for the side of Entator, and Sneaky Squid is not gonna leave it for chance. So 6-3 as we go through 9 rounds. We hit round number 10, and Homer Center hasn't gone away. These 2 teams are very skirmishy, very chippy with one another when we've seen them in previous series into that best of 3. Like we mentioned, it went all the way to game number 3 in that semifinal in the state championship. So it's not like that they haven't traded a lot before, but look at Entator at 15-6. Opposite of them, Zafar and Ghost doing work too.
I mean, Homer Center, if they can convert these 2 ultimates that they have remaining into another round win, I mean, 2 rounds apart is not something that you can really scoff at or just knock away. You have to be concerned then if you're Mohawk. And so kind of cycling your own ultimates to match them is key, of course, but easier said than done when it's only a run it back and a from the shadows. Very different compared to, say, something as big as a rolling thunder.
Ooh. Master not able to pre-fire, or at least kind of be scoped in off that angle. And those look like they are going to be rotating away. This bike does drop outside of TP. Oh, what a step and slide. Ghost does not get decayed from off of the metal. The spike is still out in no man's land as they get a bit of chip damage. Zafar is holding that angle. Ghost is looking for their own ace, and we find it. They find 5 finally. After so many of our aces, this one's all Ghost.
Absolutely. I mean, holds the angle, just remains there the entire time, and somehow, I mean, it's a combination of course, we know you're here. Why are you re-peeking, right? So they're not expecting Ghost to go for that re-peek, especially on low HP, but Ghost knows what they can take, and that's a headshot after headshot that they can land. And they prove that they are one of the most skilled players in this lobby with an ace, holding strong on just 1 angle, saying you can swing into me as many times as you want. My Vandal will hold on strong. Surely they don't overheat into this round, right? Well, they got 1.
Not yet. This is definitely a player as well that has so much confidence about their gun game. This one eventually drops out as Phobia will get them from long distance with a Spectre. That sentence usually never happens. Oh, but look at Zafar. The timing again. They're coming all the way deep from that flank, and they just need their teammates to live. They might be able to do some brutal damage.
Now you just have to choose the right avenue, right? Kind of a 50-50. terms of long or short, and they're hearing the bullets. They know where the drone is. Oh no, this could be a knife kill. No, okay, well, just taking it with the rifle. Thank you very much. You know, respect.
Yeah. They don't want to embarrass them. Oh, up? No, they didn't grab that up. Don't need that up. Who cares about that?
They could buy one.
Yeah, they have a lot of cash. That's a ton of cash, actually. And looking into that, you do have thoughts and processes. I wouldn't buy a Bucky Peanut. I would not buy. Well, you know what? I have gotten an ace on this map with a Bucky. Do it, Peanut. Show me the ace.
My first ace ever was with a Bucky and a Judge on this map. Bucky
and Judge?
Yeah, I killed somebody that had a Judge, trying to pick up the Judge and finished it off.
What? Just a shoddy pile. Okay.
Well, they ran into me in lamps.
Yeah, it's their fault, honestly. It's the way they were equipped.
If they want to go for a run it down sort of play over towards the lamps area and just take that Bucky fight, they might have an upper hand, especially with that not dead yet ultimate available. But again, these are talking about ways to even get forward.
Uh-oh.
And, well, that's a showstopper used, so they're going to have a long distance to close here and might actually let it happen. Nope. Okay, fires it a little bit too early, and that one will not spread around the wall a bit that far.
Oh, guilty cross trying to take a page out of Zafar's book, and Zafar is just laughing uncontrollably as they see their teammate be used as fodder in their long-term scheme. Daddy Sharky goes down, and now Drone will check and finally see the spy. So Zafar will take a step away and realize maybe that this trick will no longer be well employed. Still, though, they get rid of Hide Your Kids, and it's a 2v3.
I mean, Zafar is just calm, but on Sentinel. Bro is always flanking.
30 seconds left.
And for some reason, they haven't quite heard it yet. Well, they might have heard that gun drop, right?
Nah, not through that wall. Maybe. No.
I mean, time's running low. They almost have to commit to A at this point. Yeah, now you definitely do.
Oh, there it goes. Sneaky Squid will give the green lights, and they got 10 seconds, and they're just being knocked down. Ghost and Zafar, last one standing. They'll use the not dead yet. Zafar right around the corner. They actually just need to live. Run away. Oh, wait.
The clue went through the
teleporter.
TP.
Oh, no. Oh, they're good.
Don't worry, guys. I'm almost there. Oh.
Unfortunate.
Well, on the bright side, at least Peanut does not have more deaths than rounds right now. At least it's still 12 and 12 after using that ultimate. So
fair.
You know, you can call it that one A-okay, but Mohawk, what a half, 9-3 here. I mean, we talked about a dominant one last time, but this one somehow feels even more. Just the way that they're handling these fights, even though Homer Center are squeaking some away, it feels like Tater is the only one kind of rising up to the challenge with the utility from Sneaky Squid and Dephobia, and everyone else kind of just struggling as well to kind of fit together as a team. Again, they're relying on those hero plays, and as much as you want to, it's tough to get to 13 doing only on that fact.
Feels like 50-50 between Intator and Ghost really defined the opening tone and just ability
Who kills
to kind of
which other team more.
Yeah, it's like all right, well, c'est la vie, get onto site. If you're going, oh my goodness, Gak on their faces, Dubphobia. It's gonna be able to win this duel. That's gonna be Ghost that gets one off of their paint shells, and yet another. Sneaky Squid falls out. Dubphobia trying not to be scared for all of a moment, but even they stand inside and in the face of Ghost, they get spooked. It's a 4 versus 1. Peanut is trying to right-click their way to victory.
Hey, got their first, though. Got the first elimination. Got their second.
Nice.
Hey, you take those. Even if it's a 1 versus 4 scenario, the fact that you're able to grab 2, get some damage, get you closer to your ultimate, gives you more chances now to get one more round for yourselves and your team. Of course, Mohawk, we knew that they forced up on that second round. They have the confidence to go for it. Obviously, they're going to force up here when they have the credits. But what is Homer Center's response? Does Tater go for a crazy play with the Headhunter full shields? I mean, I'm not seeing it yet, but that doesn't mean they don't have the bullets.
You know what's crazy is that we also get to see some love in the chat as Coconut gave some get it Ghost, you're the best from the side of Penn Trafford. So some cross school rivalry, but also boosting each other up kind of stuff going on. So shout out to everyone that does that, by the way. But on the weirder side of this buy, Dubphobia is trying to be like, well, the Mohawk after they had that initial buy. Intator will get 2, but so does Ghost.
Shot the trapwire as well, making sure that one's not gonna have any more shenanigans. And now player spotted backside. Paint Shell's going to force them into the smoke, maybe even the right side. And it should technically benefit them, but they use the Headhunter instead, try and dry peek out, and that will not go well for their health. Instead, now 2 players revealed towards the spawn angle, and Ghost is going to farm them on up. That's 4 on the round once again. Pistol, anti-eco, it doesn't matter. Maybe it can matter, I guess, on the bonus round.
33-7 is Ghost. They started a little quiet when it came into this, and I was wondering if they still had that all-star mentality and ability about them. Well, apparently it did not fade. So the rest of this team is definitely kind of running with that peak. And honestly, whenever they were stuttered, it was the opening, 5 or 6 rounds of their defensive half. For a Raze that can lead a company here on Bind, it is like a bowling ball system. You are just going to get knocked over by these pins, or as pins, rather. Homer Center, they're trying to change lanes, maybe put the bumpers up. It's going to be, well, that's a quick finish. They do actually find them, and they stand their ground.
I mean, with how much value Ghost has been getting, you honestly take that if you're the defense. You could say, oh, you know, we lost our information gathering. Yeah, but you took down a raid boss on the other side. And, I mean, this is...
Wait. Yeah,
disaster? Wait. How is no one Huh? Okay, you know what? I'm going to just close my eyes, open them, and see. Oh, wow, that never happened. Oh, 5 bullets expended. Finally, the kill comes through. Zafar with 1. Picks up the Bucky. Yeah, I think you might want that Spectre back.
Me too, Zafar. Unless they're close quarters. Why not?
I mean, they have the cam.
Yeah.
There's that first player. Cam should tap, right? Nope, they're just going to run it around the back and gets it off the half. A sneaky squid. The crosshair placement, very nice. And Homer Center really securing 1 more. I believe Peanut's on Pie Watch right now if they grab another kill.
Ooh, are they 3.14? Hold on.
They're 2.14 right now.
Bring it up. Ah, there you go. Okay.
And then Game Master as well, looking for their first.
All right, Peanut needs to not die. They could lose, but just not die. And win, not die. Everyone, we got to get a slice of the pie. Here for Peanut. Peanut pie.
And Game Master.
That's the thing, right? And Game Master.
We want to have them at least playing the game with us, you know? They're enjoying it, but, you know, let's give them some more fun.
Yeah, breadstick.
3 breadsticks. It'd be all across the board.
Yeah, that's the opening basket that you get from Olive Garden. Ah, I'm hungry. Okay. Well,
hungry for more of those shots. That was beautiful.
early damage and early down is Mohawk. They actually lose out onto their smokes, so that's going to be gone. Zafar will immediately use their
No, Peanut!
Oh, there they go. No. Well, no more pie.
Game Master still, though, alive in this round and has a chance to at least choose a timing, but N-Tater right across the other side here. And just run and gun with the left click is not going to be enough. N-Tater with 4. And again, we talked about the mirror between Ghost and Tater. Who can get 4 kills quicker and faster? And this time, the battle goes to N-Tater.
PTSD rests in the side of North American fans and seeing the number 11. I dislike it all the time.
What's wrong with the number 11?
Did you not see the 1-11 or 11-1 that they had Fnatic in game 3 and then they went to overtime, lost, and then went to game 5?
See, I'm a Team Heretics fan, and I'm scared of 11-2.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a wild time. But Mohawk still is just a couple away. N-Tater will have their tour de force out, but they will be smoked off. Very smart fundamentals. However, there's a corner they can still stand on.
Indeed. And so they will choose to keep on peeking out. Ghost is just going to free reign this corner, though. Yep, bye-bye.
Nice. Scan. You know that someone shot it. The spike is running all the way to showers. Ghost is going to try and protect them like a teacher with all of the toddlers at their field trip. Hide Kids gets rid of Zafar, and so numbers are now doubled up in favor of Homer Center. Still going to be able to get this plant off, and Ghost is running shop.
The wingman taken down, but apparently the player is not on for the ace once more. Peanut stands in their way, and they've been spotted. Headshot, 1 bullet is all it takes. 12-5. Mohawk are on fire.
Ace on ace on ace on ace on ace. That's too many, but it's 2 that have been acquired here by Ghost. 40-9. An individual performance alongside their squad to finish all the efforts that they have made towards each of these sites. Now they're 1 away. They've got a showstopper and a run it back on either side of this matchup right now. That one better not go away without being used, considering that Homer Center desperately, 1, needs a win. 2, they gotta start ramping things up here against the Warriors.
going to be close on how they managed to kind of get this one done. Again, the similar strategy that we saw to last map and last game is, well, Mohawk just going to continue going A if it works for them. A headshot there, though, means a paint shell most likely back the other way. No, nice dodge there. Doesn't expect the second, though. Shots going a little bit awry, but Ghost continuing to walk on forward. And now potentially even a satchel in heaven. No Geeky. Squid's going to line them all up. 4, potential for 5. Jumps and dodges the showstopper. 3 bullets remaining. Make that 2. And no, Ghost on for the 4K. And there may not be Cryo Mr. 4K on our sites, but still just 1 player remaining. Peanut, a lone player waiting to get their chance at this one, and has their classic out instead of the rifle. Take out
right click,
gun, please.
Right click. But right click. Just let him defuse, Ghost. Come on, Ghost. Let it happen.
No.
Oh, there it ends up going. Mohawk will do it. 13-5 here on Bind. And that is good cleanup duty. I think Ghost, he got at least 3. They're 43 or 44 kills. We'll see, or we'll tell you all about it. But what a performance. This one was nitty gritty in the very beginning of that first half, but it was a runaway train by the Warriors thereafter.
You know what? I'm just gonna say that was an average round for me. You know, 43 kills. I do that every day. Nothing impressive. No, like let's be real. That's
44 kills, by the way. 44.
Oh, 44. Well, that's still absurd. I mean, I've dropped maybe 40 when I was, shall we say, tactically coaching my friends in ranked on an additional account that I proceed to own. But yeah, that's nuts. 44 and official is something we don't expect from these players, but I guess maybe we should start to. Ghost has been that player to really get double digits and then some, a lot more in every single game that they've played. So props to them for leading your team to the win there. But let's also talk about the side that made a good run for it. I mean, Entator as well, Sneaky Squid, everybody's still doing their part and trying to get as many rounds up on the board.
Yeah, Ghost is going to need to be kept up to good health, because without them, you are seeing Zafar have to make a lot of good flank work, and otherwise, then where does it kind of rest upon? The shoulders of Daddy Sharky, who? Because Sneaky Squid, Phobia, as well as Entator all looked very sound for the side of for the Wildcats from Homer Center. It felt like that they definitely had that kind of that early portion, but the 50-50 duels that we saw between Entator and Ghost really defined a lot of this game. Also, 674 ACS, just an average day. So the all-star looking like an all-star moving through this matchup, and what an upgrade. All 4 of our teams that were seen here today, or last spring, they were in Division 2. Now half the squads, these 2 in particular, moved up to D1. I feel like Homer Center is in a good spot. I feel like they're ready for this season in Div 1.
Yeah, I'm excited to see all 5 of those players kind of get adjusted to maybe the team setting, because again, growing pains are still very much a key here. But you know, you get through this one, you might have played the toughest, maybe second toughest opponent in your division based on historical stats. If you can get through this one, grab a few rounds away, you gotta be feeling at least a-okay to make it through at least a good run against some of these other teams as well. And again, even if you don't end up taking those games, the closer and closer that you make that progress for gives you more and more hope for maybe not even making it this year, but even next year, or maybe pulling up that miracle run when the time is right and when you are called upon most.
And we'll get to see if that happens as this one comes to a close here, at least this Wednesday. But tomorrow, we've got some good old Marvel rivals. So make sure to check back in here with PIEA, as well as on October 18th, it's the Land of Steel. I think they said it's somewhere in the ballpark of $10,000. That's like $1,000 tournament per title. They've got Mario Kart, they've got Madden 26, they got Super Smash Brothers. Make sure to check it out, as there's going to be, I think there's already at least a couple of our caster buddies that have said that they're going to be there. I think Q is at least hosting it. If you want to see that awesome muscle-bound cue ball-headed man, make sure you go check it out. It's gonna be super cool over at I believe at Robert Morris University. So go head that way. I believe that you're just nearby, so maybe you can check it out as well. But for our broadcast day, Ari, this one's closed and dusted. Thank you so much over to Echo 20 for being our producer on the day, and for all of you out there giving some good love over to these students. But I'm Hail Monkey Man. This is Ari. We'll see you all of tomorrow. But otherwise, you guys have a great night.